ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين.
And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger, and a loss of wealth, and lives, and fruits. But give good tidings to the patient. From the very beginning, the message of Islam was met not with acceptance, but with resistance. The road back to Makkah was not paved with conquest. It was paved with years of patience, sacrifice, and unwavering trust in Allah. The early believers faced unimaginable trials. Faith came at a cost: torture, boycott, loss. Some were dragged across burning sand, others were chained, beaten, and left under the unforgiving sun. Families torn apart for one reason: they believed in Allahu Ahad, one God. The weak were targeted first because they had no protection but Allah. Yet they endured, because they were taught that this life was not the end. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would pass by them, unable to immediately remove their pain, but giving them something greater than relief. He did not promise immediate victory. He promised something greater: Ridwanullah, the pleasure of Allah. As for the foremost, the first of the emigrants and the helpers, and those who follow them in goodness, Allah is pleased with them, and they are pleased with Him. And He has prepared for them gardens under which rivers flow, to stay there forever and ever. That is the ultimate triumph. When the oppression became unbearable, Allah commanded something unimaginable: to leave, to walk away from the city they loved, the homes they built, the memories they carried. The Hijrah was not just a migration, it was a test of faith, a journey of the heart, a test of what it truly means to trust Allah when everything familiar is left behind. And in the darkness of the cave, as danger stood just steps away, fear reached its peak. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, turned to Abu Bakr and reminded him of a truth greater than fear. Do not be sad. Indeed, Allah is with us. In Medina, the Muslims began to rebuild, a community grounded in faith, justice, and brotherhood. Brotherhood replaced division, mercy replaced arrogance, and Islam began to grow, quietly, steadily. But the trials did not end. Battles were fought, losses were felt. Yet through it all, restraint defined them, not into conquerors of land, but into carriers of truth. Then came a moment that tested their patience like never before: the Treaty of Hudaibiyah, a pact meant to pause the conflict and to create space for peace. But peace is only as strong as those who honor it. Allies of Quraysh launched a night attack on allies of the Muslims, spilling blood in the sacred bounds where fighting was forbidden. And Quraysh did not stop it. Some even aided it. In that moment, the treaty was no longer just strained, it was broken. What followed would change the course of history. They came with no weapons of war, only the intention of Umrah, pilgrimage. They were stopped, turned away, and faced with terms that seemed deeply unfair, with conditions that felt heavy. To many, it felt like a painful compromise. It felt like defeat. Indeed, we have granted you a clear triumph, O Prophet. What looked like a setback was in reality the opening of doors unseen. Allah declared it a clear victory, because victory in Islam is not always immediate. Sometimes it is prepared in silence. After years of patience, they returned, not as conquerors driven by revenge, but as believers guided by mercy, as an ummah strengthened by trials. The Prophet, peace be upon him, entered the city with humility. The city that once expelled him now stood before him. And in that moment of ultimate power, he chose forgiveness. The return to Makkah was not a sudden triumph or a conquest. It was a story of sabr, patience, restraint, complete trust in Allah's timing.